Speaker, I rise today to speak on the importance of comprehensive immigration reform and the growing humanitarian crisis that we are facing at our southern borders. It is the job of the Congress to face and to resolve challenging issues like our broken immigration system. We ought to pass the bipartisan Senate bill that would provide common sense solutions to address not only reform our immigration system, but to deal with the immediate humanitarian crisis at our border. Instead, the Republican House leadership refuses to allow a vote on comprehensive reform and has come up instead with a plan which would change the law passed in 2008 to combat human trafficking. In addition, this partisan bill will provide limited funding for this fiscal year. So again, the House leadership plans to pass a short-term fix so that they can go back to their districts next month and say, well, we tried to fix this crisis that we are facing. This is not how we should be solving our nation's problems. Each day, our immigration system remains broken, jobs are lost, and our economy suffers. It is time to set politics aside and focus on fixing our current immigration system. In fact, failure to address reform is making it difficult with thousands of unaccompanied children arriving at our southern border in hopes of finding safety. The humanitarian crisis that we are facing is in part a result of the turmoil in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, where drug trafficking, human trafficking, and violence is rampant. Families have been tortured and killed, and today there are people who are literally running for their lives. Atrocities are being committed in those countries, and they must bear the responsibility of addressing and resolving their issues. Mexico also has a role to play. We in the United States must now face this humanitarian crisis this violence is causing at our southern border. In a joint statement, President Obama, along with presidents from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, pledged to reduce criminal activity in Central American countries by promoting greater social and economic opportunity. It's my hope that these leaders stay true to their word and demonstrate leadership by addressing the humanitarian crisis taking place within their own countries. These young and unaccompanied children must be treated in a humane and dignified way. Ultimately, these children's fate rests in the hands of our immigration judges, and those children who are not granted asylum must return to their countries. Playing politics with this grave crisis, as some are doing, is not productive. It's the height of hypocrisy that Republicans want more border security, but have refused to allow a vote on the comprehensive immigration reform bill that would in fact provide more funding to secure our borders. It makes no sense. We've spent billions of dollars on border security, but clearly our border is not yet secure. The comprehensive immigration reform bill passed by the Senate in a bipartisan fashion requires that long-term plans be developed and executed with an additional $8.3 billion in funding to focus on securing the borders today, and an additional $6.5 billion in funding to be spent over the next 6 years to in fact secure our border. What we need now more than ever is an open and honest discussion on the House floor about the relationship between immigration reform and this humanitarian crisis. Therefore, I urge my Republican colleagues to join together in a bipartisan fashion like they did in the Senate to find an effective and humane short and long-term solution to this crisis, which is directly related, in my opinion, to fixing our broken immigration system. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.